Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ebony. If you are new here, I am a human design expert, and I like to use my knowledge of human design and apply it to a bunch of different areas. Now, today in this video, we are going to be talking about the basics of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, manifestation, all of these different things, because I technically got my start as a personal development / manifestation coach. That's where I started before I got into human design. But then I realized human design can be applied to manifestation, just like it can be applied to a bunch of other areas. So what I'm going to be giving you today is the basics of quantum mechanics in the way that I understand it. Okay, so I'm not saying that this is gospel. I'm not saying that this is exactly how it is and you have to listen to me and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm simply giving you my understanding of it, the things that I have studied, how it all kind of fits together and makes sense for me. If this does not resonate for you, if you are a quantum physicist and I'm saying something that's completely incorrect, please let me know in the comments and we can have a discussion. I am perfectly fine with learning new things, but this is currently how I understand quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and manifestation. So, click. There we go. Isn't it pretty? Oh my God, I love this. Okay, so what the hell is quantum mechanics? Quantum mechanics describes how every component of your universe, your reality, comes into being. Your entire external structure is directly under your control. You literally command all of the physical external manifestations that you see. You just might not be conscious of this, right? This is what the whole law of attraction, law of assumption thing tells us, right? That we create our reality. We create our desires based on how we think, how we feel, all of this, right? Since you may be unaware of the fact that everything you see is under your control, you may believe that your life events are beyond your control, they're beyond your influence. But quantum physics, manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption, whatever you subscribe to, tells you that that is not the case. You are ultimately responsible for the events that you experience, and you are not the victim of your circumstance. Now, does this mean that you are responsible for every terrible thing that happened to you? No, because you're not necessarily responsible for all of your subconscious beliefs. Those are things that were given to you, placed upon you from, many different sources of trauma. So when I say that you are not the victim of your circumstance, I'm not saying that you specifically caused it. I'm saying that you have the power to change it. So the first step in understanding how you can manifest everything you want comes from this information, from quantum physics, how everything in your world comes into being. By understanding quantum mechanics at its most basic level, I'm talking basics here, you'll not only understand how everything that surrounds you is made, but you'll also start to understand how your beliefs and thoughts shape the world, right? Everything that you could possibly want, anything that you can imagine, that you can dream up, has already been given to you. There's I want to say it's a quote from the Bible: ask and know that you have already received. That is literally manifestation. If you can desire something, it's because you already have it. You already have the ability to experience that thing. So, scientific knowledge is finally catching up to like spirituality and mysticism and rubber stamping this, like validating what mystics and spiritual teachers have been saying for years. So if you understand exactly how your thinking changes the world and brings about whatever it is that you trust is yours, you're more likely to trust someone who tells you that anything is attainable for you, that absolutely anything is possible, that you have the ability to create your life exactly the way that you want it to. And that's what I want to impress upon you with this video, is that anything is absolutely possible. So, among the advantages of comprehending the very fundamentals of quantum physics, the bare, the basics, that's what I'm talking about in this video, is that you will really start to understand how ideas as potent as your beliefs and having the right mindset operate and how they create your physical reality. So once you understand this, you can start to build your world, build your reality deliberately, forcefully, and elegantly through your understanding, through this knowledge, through your own observation, through witnessing your physical world. And this is really empowering. This is such empowering information, and they don't teach us this in school, right? We learn about, the Pythagorean theorem and history and PE and all of these other things, but they don't teach us this. They don't teach us that our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings have so much control over the things that we experience in our lives. We don't know this. They don't teach us this as kids. So now it's up to us to come to this understanding on our own, essentially. By studying quantum physics, you're going to see how we're all interconnected. How the universal presence, God, the creator, whatever you want to call it, is maintaining the appearance of different independent entities. But in actuality, we are all one. We are all connected. Even though we're manifesting as different people, different physical bodies, we are all one consciousness. We are all interconnected as one. And quantum physics also offers a look into the relationship between the spiritual and the material, the interaction between spirit and the body, the process of creation in itself, and our role as co-creators with universal intelligence, with the universal presence, with God, with, whatever spiritual system you believe in. You are a co-creator with that entity, with that being. What I really want you to get from this is your own potential, the absolute limitlessness of you, of your thoughts, of your imagination, of your capacity and ability to create everything that you desire. And it's not difficult. Like, it's not some, magical, mystical secret. It's really simple. You can have anything that you desire, period. So, quantum physics is essentially the investigation of the universe's most basic components. That's basically what it is, which are subatomic particles. Yeah, there are huge clusters of subatomic particles that make up everything. Your body, a tree, a car, the planet. It's all just collections of energy, clusters of subatomic particles. They're the same. Like, there's no difference between the subatomic particles of a tree, the subatomic particles of a car, the subatomic particles of your body. It's all the same particles. They're just arranged differently. The way the molecules are arranged into even bigger constructions is the only difference between you and a house. Yeah. And understanding how these subatomic particles operate can help you reconstruct not only yourself, but the environment surrounding you, right? So the biggest part of this is understanding that you are not separate. You are not different from any of the things that you want to experience. The money that you want, the person you want in your life, the car that you want. It's not separate and completely different from you. You are made of the same things. It's just arranged differently, right? So if that's the case, if it's simply just a different arrangement of the same particles that you are made of, that means you can have it. There's no there's no separation here. So now we can take these huge goals that we have, take them off the pedestal, because you're on the same level. That luxury car, that luxury house, and you, same thing. Same thing. Yeah. So, a subatomic what now? Subatomic particles are not actually particles. Like when you think of a particle, you think like, I don't know, like a grain of sand or like a grain of rice, something small and solid and, something you can feel, right? That's not what subatomic particles are. So they're not things per se. The bigger things that they cluster into and form are things. Like a car is a thing, your body is a thing, a tree is a thing. But the subatomic particles that make up that tree or that car or your body are not necessarily things. They are likelihoods of existence. Actually, I think the phrase that was used that I saw in my studies was probabilities of existence. Subatomic particles are probabilities of existence. And they exist in both waves and particles. So quantum physicists are trying to figure out, what are these subatomic particles and what do they do? How do they behave? How do they operate? Subatomic particles are actually slow down. I'm very excited and I tend to mush up my words when I get too excited. Subatomic particles are actually energetic bundles known as quanta. Yeah. So we already know that energy makes up everything in the universe. Everything in the cosmos is made up of energy. And the really interesting thing is that this energy, these subatomic particles, this quanta, is under our direct control. And when we're not aware of this, when we don't know this information, we construct and build our universe, our reality, very randomly and unconsciously. We have no intention with it because we don't know what's actually happening. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that today. And don't worry, I'm gonna try and make this all make sense because I feel like it might be a little confusing right now. So let's go a little bit deeper. Your body is made up of organs and tissues, which are made up of cells, which are made up of molecules, which are made up of atoms, which are made up of subatomic particles. But what are subatomic particles made of? Well, they're not made of anything. Subatomic particles are energy, period. So these subatomic particles that make up everything are just energy. That means everything is just energy. The tree is energy. The car is energy. Your body is energy because it's made up of large clusters of energy, right? I'm trying to, how do I want to say this? So the energy, the subatomic particles that make up your body and all of these things, combined with spirit and intellect, create the tangible forms that you are accustomed to seeing. So the energy, the subatomic particles, are directed by thought, directed by consciousness. And when they form clusters, they become solid things. But those solid things at their core are still energy because that is what they are made up of. So, observance. According to quantum physics, an item exists because of the process of observation, regardless of when or how or where it shows up. Something exists because it's being observed in that place. Atoms and matter are composed of subatomic particles. Energy, waves of this energy, these particles are dispersed over space and time. And they only become objects, they only become things concentrated as a specific space-time event at a certain place and time when you observe them. When you practice observing something, that takes it from being a probability, from being a wave, from being just energy to being a physical thing in that particular point in space and time. So essentially, the things that you're observing in your physical reality, you're only observing them because you're observing them. If you chose not to observe those things, they would cease to be things in that particular point in time and space. They would become a probability again, right? So you can see that observation, which observation meaning paying attention to and focusing your mind on something, actually causes a space-time event, a space-time phenomenon to take place. If this makes no sense, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to explain it as best I can, but I feel like I'm just kind of digging myself into a deeper hole, but let me know. So, are we solid? Because I know as I'm saying this, you're probably like, this makes no sense. How can I be energy if I am solid? How can my car be energy? Like, I don't just fall through, the middle of my car. I sit on it, it's solid, I drive it. Like, you're crazy. But I want you to think about this. Nothing that's concrete is actually concrete, okay? It's composed of energy packets, remember? And they're flickering quickly in and out of that space. Thousands of billions of energy packets. When you are, let's say you're going to a movie, right? And you're looking at the movie screen, and you're watching the movie. It's one continuous picture of the actors and whatever's going on in the movie. That's what you're seeing. It's one solid picture. But that's not actually what's happening. What's happening is there's frames, and each frame is flashing so quickly that it's giving the illusion of a solid continuous picture, a solid continuous 2-hour movie. But that's not what it is. It's just a bunch of frames flashing in and out, making it look like that. It's the same thing with everything. Your body, the tree, the car, it's just rapidly flashing packets of energy that are giving the illusion of concreteness, the illusion of solidity, of solidness. But that's why it's like, oh no, it's solid. No, it's just an illusion. Everything is an illusion. Everything is illusion, right? So these energy packets enter and leave the area in which that thing is so fast that it's creating the illusion that it's solid, but it's not. So I want to alter the way that you view the things around you. Nothing is solid, nothing is concrete, which means everything can be changed. So let's talk about probabilities. Since subatomic particles are probabilities of existence, that means anything is possible at any time. At any moment, something can change into anything because it's a probability that is made certain by your observation. So the likelihood, the probability, is confirmed by your observation, which means it renders any alternative possibilities of it occurring elsewhere completely null and void. Constant focus maintains your reality in a specific way. So if you decide that you're going to stop observing, let's say, a chair in your house, you're not going to observe it anymore. The moment you take your focus off of that object, off of that chair, it disappears. And when you look for it again, when you look to observe it again, it reappears in that spot. Now, this sounds insane. I know, I know this sounds insane, but this is what quantum physics tells us actually happens. So, decisions. What is the power source? What is making these subatomic particles do what they do? Physicists have shown that quantum particles, subatomic particles, make choices. They have brains that are driving them, and they're instantaneously aware of any choices being made by other particles everywhere else in the universe. These particles move and converse instantly with each other. They don't take any time to travel over any kind of distance. How are they doing this? What is driving them? What is telling them to do this? The source. your thinking and your imagination are causing these subatomic particles to move, to communicate with each other, and to create shapes when and where you decide to observe something. They are also multidimensional. And the only reason that we don't see this is because we are limited by our five senses. All physical substance is composed of energy packets, subatomic particles that are not limited by time or space. Einstein and other quantum physicists have already demonstrated this. The borders of the quantum field of energy are not necessarily well determined. They're not super defined. Like, we can look at our planet, we can say, okay, this is Earth, and Earth ends here, and then you just have space. And then you have Mercury, and then there's space. And then there's Venus. Those are defined boundaries. The quantum field doesn't have that, right? The universe, the cosmos, essentially is an extension of your mind. It is an extension of your boundless imagination. There is no separation between the universe, the cosmos, and your mind. Your intellect is limitless. And science has demonstrated this. The one mind, the source, is linked to all other minds. We are all connected. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm just one person, I don't have a huge impact, you are more substantial, more strong, more necessary than you even realize. Okay? So, not only are the energy packet, the subatomic particles multidimensional, our souls are also multidimensional. So our souls are not limited by our five senses, but our physical bodies are, right? Okay. So we already have it all. Okay. The things that you want, like think of the biggest thing that you want, whether it's money, cars, houses, boats. You want to live on the moon. You know, you want the perfect body, whatever. Your biggest dreams and your biggest desires, you already have it. You already have it. Now, there is a difference between having something and experiencing something. That's where we get fucked up. Okay. I'm gonna take you on a journey here. So you can have something, right, and not experience it. Let's say it's your birthday, and someone gets you a vacuum. Like, you've been wanting a vacuum for a really long time, and someone gets you a vacuum for your birthday. Great. You have that vacuum. You have it. It's yours, right? But let's say that you never take that vacuum out of the box. You never use it. It sits in the corner. It collects dust, ironically, because it's a vacuum. And you just never get around to using it. You never get around to consciously experiencing that vacuum. You have it. You have access to it, but you are not experiencing that vacuum. You are not experiencing the benefits of having that vacuum. But that doesn't mean you don't have it. You have it, but you're not experiencing it. In order to experience that vacuum, you would need to take it out of the box, put it together, put all the parts in the right place, and actually begin to vacuum your house. That would be experiencing your vacuum. So we get caught up, and our five senses do this to us. We get caught up. Who is calling me? Sam. I'm sorry. We get caught up because we're like, okay, I want to make $1 million a year. Oh, but I don't have it. I don't have it. You actually do. You have it, but you're not experiencing it. And that's the distinction that I'm trying to get across to you in this video. You have it all, you're just not experiencing it. So what does this mean? Quantum physics is helping science start to establish what I just said, that we have it all, we're just not experiencing it. It's trying to establish this as being factual, okay? Because the fact of the matter is we have the ability to impact our environment due to the unlimited creativity and great potential that's present at the quantum level. At the quantum level, everything already exists. And we're constantly surrounded by quantum energy in the quantum field. That's where we are right now. Everything is unlimited in the quantum field. Everything already exists in the quantum field. So that means everything we desire already exists. It's already ours. We just need to become conscious of it and aware of it in order to experience it. So in reality, in our lives, when we're talking about manifestation, whether it's law of attraction or law of assumption, I kind of think it's all the same. But anyway, all we're doing is changing our awareness, changing our consciousness to explore elements of ourselves that we've always had, that have always been there. We're just becoming aware of it so that we are able to experience it. It's all there in the quantum field, and our awareness, our observation, our consciousness of it is what allows us to be able to experience it. So, physicists have discovered that it is possible for two molecules that are divided by time and space to be invisibly connected and behave simultaneously. Now, if you are someone who's trying to manifest a specific person, which, everyone has their own thoughts and beliefs and opinions about that. I'm not going to touch on that here. I'm just saying, if you're one of those people, this is going to be important for you. Two molecules that are divided by both time and space are invisibly connected and can behave simultaneously. Which means you are not separate from the person that you want. You are not separate. You are of one mind, which means when you're saying your affirmations or you're doing your visualizations or whatever you're doing, they are experiencing that as well, because you're not separate. Invisibly connected and behave simultaneously. Something else that physicists have discovered is that the environment we live in was designed in a way that allows it to understand itself. So the source, whatever you want to call it, split itself into two entities. One that is meant to be seen and one that is meant to see. In order to understand itself, it was like, look, I can't learn more about myself. I can't experience myself if it's just me. So I'm going to split me into two different entities. One that's meant to be seen and one that is meant to see. The one that is intended to see has the misconception. We're the ones intended to see. We have the misconception that we are different. We are distinct from what we are seeing, from the one to be seen. Like, say, a tree. I'm looking at a tree right now outside my car window. Prior to this knowledge, I would have thought of myself as separate from that tree. Me and that tree are two separate individual entities, but we're not. We are two manifestations of the same energy. This is the crazy part. Everything is an illusion. Everything is a delusion. Because in reality, we are all one. I am one with that tree. That tree is me. If you're manifesting a specific person, you are one with that person. They are you. They are you. There is no separation. So the engagement or awareness of individuals who engage in witness is what creates the entire universe. Our engagement and our witnessing, our observation is what creates all reality, all the universe is being created through our collective and individual witnessing, right? You observing it and all of us observing it creates everything, whatever you desire. And it's made possible by your belief in it, conviction about it, and your focus on it. Anything you desire currently exists as a probability wave. And you make it into a concrete reality. You make it into an occurrence at a specific location in space and time through your observance. Isn't that's crazy, right? That's completely different from what we've been taught growing up. So something else that's trippy is that there's a little bit more to it than that. not only does everything you desire exist as a probability, it's already a thing, it's already occurring. But because of how we are perceiving through our five senses, but because of how we're perceiving time, it looks like it's distant and it looks like it's separate from you, but it's not. Again, it's just an illusion. It is just an illusion. So, according to the Everett-Wheeler-Graham theory, which is currently being studied, the quanta, the subatomic particles, will concentrate in multiple locations, but in other universes that interlap with our own. So this is where the idea of alternate realities kind of comes into play. Because previously I said that if you observe something and your observance creates that thing as an object in a particular point in time and space, that any other occurrences of it being elsewhere in the universe, immediately become null and void. Like it doesn't happen because you've decided it's here in this point in time, so it can't be anywhere else in another point in time. That is actually not true. It's actually a misconception according to this theory. Now, this theory says that there are several alternate realities. And in these several alternate realities, all possibilities do in fact come to pass and appear in the real world. So if you observe something and you say, okay, this chair is here right now in this moment, there is another alternate parallel reality where that chair is not there. Or there's another parallel alternate reality where it is there, but you're not watching it, someone else is. So someone else is in the room with you observing it. There are multiple alternate realities where everything is happening all at once, parallel to ours. Physicists are right now researching indications that the universe, the cosmos, is a massive multidimensional hologram. And there's evidence and data that supports this. I think one of the experiments, I think it's Schrodinger's cat. So if you're interested in this, look up Schrodinger's cat, because that's a really interesting study. So a subatomic particle won't just pick one location to be in. It'll choose all of the locations. And in order for this to happen, reality splits into separate parallel realities, each of which, oh my goodness, exists independently of the other. This is the many worlds theory of quantum mechanics. So, God, this is getting, this is so deep, but like, I really want you to have all this information. I'm sorry if I'm throwing everything at you, but this is what it is. So, this theory of quantum mechanics also explains free will, because I know a lot of people who are against people manifesting specific people. They're like, oh, you're taking away their free will. You're taking away their free will. You're da-da-da-da-da. This theory really explains that. So, your soul is multidimensional. We've already talked about this. Your soul is timeless and it exists beyond time and space. The choices that you make is what divides reality, is what divides the universe into these multiple realities. In the area of the universe that you picked, you will be aware. So if you picked, let's say that, if you're manifesting money or whatever, and you choose to be aware of the reality where you are a millionaire, then you're aware in that reality. But there's another reality where you're dirt poor, but you're not aware of that reality. You're not conscious of that reality because you have chosen to be in the reality where you are a millionaire. But that doesn't mean that that reality goes away. It's still existing parallel to the reality that you're currently in. You're just choosing not to be aware of it. So its existence, that existence of that reality where you're dirt poor, will still reach you and aid you in your understanding of the reality that you picked to be aware in. But you will not be conscious completely of that reality. You will not be conscious of being dirt poor because you are in the reality where you are a millionaire. However, other people who decide to be conscious and aware of that reality where you're dirt poor will be conscious and aware of that reality where you are dirt poor. And they will not be in the reality with you as a millionaire because they're choosing to be aware of that reality, that other reality where you are dirt poor. People choose what realities to be aware of. That is free will. The others who opt for the other reality that you did not select will be alert in that reality rather than the one that you're in. This is how free will works, without contradicting itself, and how seemingly incompatible things can all be real and true at the same time. So if you're manifesting a specific person, you're manifesting that they're in love with you, you're in a happy, loving relationship, whatever, you will shift and become conscious and aware of that reality where you are in a happy relationship with them, where they love you and everything is great. And they can choose to be conscious of the reality where you are not together. Both realities are true. Both things are true, but in different parallel realities. So everyone can have what they want. You can be in reality with a beautiful, loving relationship with that person, and their free will can allow them to choose a different reality where they can be aware of the complete opposite situation, and they are both true at the same time. That is what we are doing. We are constantly making decisions, shifting in and out of different realities. That is what free will is. There's not just one version of you, one version of that person that you are mind controlling. No, you are shifting into the reality where they are doing what you want them to do, because everything exists within the quantum field in different parallel alternate realities. Is that not the trippiest fucking thing you've ever heard? Yeah. This is a lot. Okay. So I think I might actually stop here and actually split this video, because I feel like that's a lot. So I think I'm gonna stop it here. We're gonna stop it here, and we're gonna do a part 2 to this video, and we're gonna finish it all up. But I want you to be able to process all of this. And if you have any questions, anything you want to know, anything that wasn't clear, go ahead and leave it in a comment, and I will address it in the second part of this video. But I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in joining my free challenge to get your shit together, the link for that will be in the description box, and I will see you in part 2 of this video.